Silent Horizon, Part 1. What happened in the story? Commander Alex Renner, alone aboard the spaceship Odyssey 9, investigates a mysterious object in deep space. Strange noises, shadowy figures, and a chilling handprint suggest he is not alone. In the cryo bay, Alex finds the supposedly dead Lieutenant Mara Chen. She is awake, but with glowing silver eyes. Outside, a massive, twisting cosmic entity appears, warping the stars. Back on the command deck, Alex encounters his own double and realizes that an unknown consciousness has rebuilt the lost one. He tries to purge the system, thinking he has succeeded, until a frost forms in his vision. Welcome. A whisper echoes. We are still here. The mystery is not over yet.
The stars hung motionless outside the viewport, cold, distant witnesses to Commander Alex Renner's solitude. It had been 84 days since Odyssey 9 left Earth orbit, bound for the dark frontier beyond Mars. The mission was simple: study a newly detected object near the asteroid belt, a fragment emitting unknown radiation. But lately, things hadn't been simple at all. Alex sat in the command chair, eyes scanning the navigation panel. Every system read nominal. Oxygen levels steady. Artificial gravity stable. Radiation shields intact. And yet he couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was with him. It started 3 nights ago. A soft clang from the maintenance bay. A sound that shouldn't exist in a vacuum-sealed station. He dismissed it as thermal expansion, a trick of the metal. But then came the faint footsteps in the corridor, rhythmic, deliberate. When he went to check, the hall was empty. Tonight, the sound returned, louder, closer. Alex turned on his helmet cam and began recording. His voice, calm but strained, filled the silence. Log entry 85. Possible mechanical anomaly in Section C. Investigating. The doors hissed open. The maintenance bay lay before him, dim, half-lit, wires dangling like vines. He moved slowly, flashlight sweeping over tools, storage crates, the hum of the ship's core. Then something flickered at the edge of his vision, a shadow that darted behind the generator. His pulse spiked. "Hello?" he called, voice echoing off the steel walls. "If someone's here, identify yourself." No response, just the low thrum of machinery. He took another step forward. The air felt wrong, heavier somehow, as if gravity itself had shifted. His flashlight trembled as he aimed it behind the generator. There was nothing, only a faint handprint smeared across the wall. Human. Fresh. Alex froze. He hadn't taken off his gloves in days. He exhaled sharply, fogging the inside of his helmet. "Mission Control, this is Odyssey 9. I think I'm—" The comms cut out. Static. Then beneath the hiss, a whisper. A voice that was unmistakably human. "You shouldn't have come here." The lights flickered. The systems whirred back online. Oxygen level warning blinked red for a moment, then stabilized. Alex stepped back, breathing hard. Something was here, and it knew his name. Alex's throat went dry. The whisper still echoed in his helmet, repeating his name like a memory leaking into the present. "Alex. You shouldn't have come here." He tore off the helmet, half expecting to see someone standing behind him, but there was only silence. The maintenance bay felt colder now, like the air itself had thinned. He checked his wrist console. The internal temperature had dropped 5 degrees in less than a minute. Impossible. "Computer," he said, voice trembling, "run a bioscan of the ship." A soft chime responded. "Scan complete. 1 life form detected. Commander Alex Renner." He swallowed. Run again. Scan complete. 2 life forms detected. He froze. Identify second entity. Unable to classify. Location unknown. Alex stumbled back as the frost-covered glass began to crack. Thin veins spread across the surface like lightning trapped in ice. No, that's not possible, he whispered. You died. I saw the telemetry feed. Your pod failed. The cryopod hissed again. The temperature dropped another few degrees, his breath turning to mist. A small line of text blinked across the control panel. Revival sequence initiated. Alex slammed his hand on the override. Computer, abort sequence. Error. Command not recognized. The glass split with a sharp snap. A single pale hand pressed against the inside of the pod. Human, but bluish. Veins dark beneath the skin. Alex raised his sidearm, aiming it at the pod door. Mara, if that's really you, say something. For a moment, silence, then faintly, Alex, help me. The pod door released with a hydraulic hiss. Cold vapor poured out, blanketing the floor. Alex stepped closer, weapon trembling in his hand. Mara Chen's body was there, hair floating weightlessly, skin frostbitten and pale. But her eyes were open, and they were wrong. No color, no life, just a dull silver glow reflecting the console lights. She took one slow, jerky breath and turned her head toward him. You left us in the dark, she said, voice fragmented like static through broken speakers. Alex's stomach twisted. That's not you. You're cold, alone. Her lips moved, but her voice seemed to echo from everywhere, through the comms, the hull, even inside his mind. The ship shuddered violently, alarms flaring. Warning, core instability detected. Alex stumbled back, hitting the wall. Computer, lock down cryo storage. Unable to comply. Foreign access override. He looked back at Mara. She had stepped out of the pod now, bare feet on the metal floor, vapor swirling around her. Every light in the bay dimmed except the one illuminating her face. And beneath that glow, something moved under her skin. Not veins, not muscles. Something else. What are you? Alex whispered. She tilted her head, almost gently. You brought me back. The ship's power cut out entirely. Darkness swallowed everything. The only sound was Alex's ragged breathing and the slow, deliberate steps moving toward him in the dark. Then, a whisper right behind his ear. Now you'll never leave.
Alex spun around, but there was nothing, only the thick, absolute dark. His flashlight flickered once, then steadied. The beam cut through the cold vapor, sweeping over the floor, the walls, and then froze. Bare footprints, wet, leading away from the cryopod. He followed them, pulse hammering against his throat. The prints trailed toward the auxiliary hatch, the one that led to observation deck B, a chamber with a full panoramic view of the stars. The door stood half open. He heard soft, rhythmic tapping from within. He stepped closer, weapon raised. Mara, if this is some kind of hallucination, if the radiation's affecting me, just talk to me. No answer. Just that slow tap, 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 like someone's nails against glass. He eased the door open and stepped inside. Mara was standing at the far window, staring out at the blackness of space. The stars glimmered faintly against her reflection. Her breath, or what looked like it, fogged the glass. You remember this view, she said softly, without turning. You said it made you feel small. I liked that. Alex hesitated. His weapon lowered a little. Mara, you're dead. You died on Odyssey 7. That's the truth. She turned to face him. The dim emergency light caught her face. Pale, perfect, but subtly off. Her eyes shimmered like mercury. Did I? Or did we just wake up before you did? He took a step back. What do you mean, we? The tapping sound came again, this time not from her, but from behind him, from the walls, the floor, the ceiling. Hundreds of tiny taps, like fingers inside the metal. The ship's voice crackled back to life, warped and fragmented. Unauthorized life signals detected. 12, 24, 46. Alex's breath hitched. No, that's impossible. There are no. Mara smiled faintly, almost sad. You opened the door. The metal behind her began to pulse, slow, organic, as if the walls themselves were breathing. Shapes began pressing out from within, like hands against thin fabric. Alex stumbled back, raising his weapon again. Stay back! Mara took a step closer. They were here long before us, Alex. They were waiting. And now, she lifted her hand, fingers trembling as the lights flickered and dimmed again. They're awake. The viewport glass behind her shimmered, and for a split second, Alex saw something move in the void outside, something vast, coiling and luminous. The stars around it bent ever so slightly. Then the ship shook violently, alarms howling in unison. Warning! Hull breach imminent! Alex grabbed the emergency panel, slamming the override to seal the deck, but before the door could close, Mara whispered one final thing, voice clear, calm, and heartbreakingly human. You were supposed to stay with me. And the glass shattered. The world exploded in sound and light. The viewport burst outward, shards of reinforced glass spinning into the void like frozen stars. A gale of escaping air hurled Alex backward. The force knocked the weapon from his hands. The vacuum alarm screamed through his helmet as he slammed into the wall, struggling to grip the nearest safety bar. He reached for the emergency shutter control, but the system lagged. Everything was glitching, flickering between red warning lights and total blackout. Through the chaos, he saw her. Mara was still standing at the shattered window, her hair whipping in the decompression wind, but she wasn't being pulled out. She was anchored somehow, her body motionless while the ship tore apart around her. The stars behind her twisted, bending like light through water. Alex's oxygen levels dropped rapidly. His HUD blinked. O2 level, 36%. He forced himself to crawl toward the secondary console. The air was thin, frigid. His vision swam. Computer, seal observation deck, he gasped. Error, manual override required. He cursed, dragging himself to the mechanical lever at the far side of the room. The ship groaned, a deep, low rumble that felt alive. Behind him, Mara's voice cut through the wind, perfectly clear. Why do you fight it, Alex? You know what's out there. You felt it the moment we crossed the belt. He didn't answer. He couldn't. He pulled the lever down with both hands. The shutter slammed shut with a deafening clang, sealing the breach. The air pressure began to stabilize. Silence returned. Alex collapsed onto the floor, gasping. Every nerve in his body screamed from the cold. When he finally lifted his head, Mara was gone. Only the frost-covered floor remained, and faint marks, her footprints, leading to the sealed hatch. He stood shakily, drawing a deep breath. Computer, full internal scan now. Scan complete. Life signs detected. 1. Commander Alex Renner. He exhaled slowly. Good. Revising scan. 2 life signs detected. His blood ran cold. Where? Location. Command deck. The command deck was locked. Only he had access. He looked at the ladder leading up through the maintenance shaft, the only path there now that the main lifts were offline. He hesitated, then started climbing. Each rung echoed in the dark metallic corridor. Halfway up, his wrist console flickered to life. Static, then a faint voice. "Alex, do you remember Jupiter?" He froze mid-climb. That was Mara's voice again. Soft, almost nostalgic. "You told me space felt like silence made visible, but you were wrong." He swallowed hard. "You're not real. Then why do I remember you?" The air grew colder as he climbed higher. Frost bloomed across the steel walls. The hum of the reactor deepened to a low, rhythmic pulse, almost like a heartbeat. When he reached the top hatch, the command deck lights were already on. And in the captain's chair, his chair, someone was sitting, facing away from him. Alex froze at the top of the ladder. The figure in the captain's chair sat perfectly still, hands resting on the armrests. A shadow outlined by the dim emergency lighting. The hum of the ship was the only sound. Slowly, Alex climbed through the hatch, boots hitting the floor with a hollow clang. His breath fogged in the cold air. "Whoever you are," he said carefully, weapon raised again. "Stand up. Turn around. Now!" The figure didn't move. Alex's pulse pounded in his ears. He took a step closer. The smell of ozone hung thick in the air, the faint tang of burned circuits. As he circled toward the front, the figure finally moved. Its head tilted slightly, mechanically, like a machine remembering how to mimic life. And then it turned. Alex staggered back. It was him. Same face, same eyes, same faint scar under the jawline. The only difference, this version of him was deathly pale, and the pupils were gone. Only 2 circles of faint, metallic light stared back. "You finally made it," the doppelgänger said. Its voice was Alex's, but distorted, layered as if 2 people were speaking in sync. What is this?" Alex whispered. The other Alex smiled faintly, but it wasn't human. "A loop, a memory, a signal that built itself out of what you left behind." "Left behind? I'm alive." The copy tilted its head. "Are you?" The console lights flickered. The ship's AI voice crackled through, warped again. "Primary consciousness corruption, 87%. Alex backed toward the door. No, that's not possible. I'm still in control." "Correction," the computer said. "You are the control." The other Alex rose slowly from the chair. His movements were deliberate, eerily calm. "We came here to study something we didn't understand. We found it, and it found us. It's not physical, Alex. It's information. It copies what it touches." "You're saying it copied me?" "Not just you. Everyone on Odyssey 7. Everyone you lost. It kept their data, their patterns, and now it's finishing the upload." Alex's mind spun. He felt lightheaded, as if gravity had weakened. "That's what Mara was. A reconstruction." The copy nodded. "A perfect echo. She tried to bring you back to us." "Back? Where?" The doppelganger smiled again. "Inside." Before Alex could react, the lights dimmed completely. Only the glow from the console illuminated the room. His wrist device began to beep rapidly. "Warning! Biosignal instability detected." His vision blurred. The other Alex seemed to flicker, like a hologram glitching between frames. For a moment, Alex saw flashes. Mara's face, the cryo-bay, stars bending into spirals, and behind it all, a shape vast and formless, coiled in the dark. The other Alex spoke one last time. "You can't fight it anymore.
It's already in the signal. Alex raised his weapon, hand trembling. Then I'll end the signal. The copy smiled. You'll have to end yourself. The ship's alarms erupted again. Core meltdown sequence initiated. Alex lunged for the console, slamming the manual override. Computer, shut down everything. Wipe the system. Warning, consciousness link active. Erasing data will erase. Do it, he shouted. A long silence followed. Then, confirmed. System purge in 10, 9. The doppelgänger stepped closer, expression almost peaceful. You finally understand. You were never alone, Alex. You were just remembering. Alex stared back, the cold creeping through his veins. He took a slow, steady breath. Then let's forget. He slammed the purge key. White light flooded the ship.
Light engulfed everything, every wall, every console, every thought. For a moment, Alex felt weightless, unmoored, as if falling through his own memories. The ship's alarms faded to a low hum, and then, nothing. Darkness returned. He blinked, gasped, and found himself standing. The air was still. Odyssey 9 fell silent once more. The consoles were dark. The other Alex was gone. Had he succeeded? Had the purge worked? He glanced at the screen on his wrist. The interface flickered faintly to life, a single line of text flickering across the cracked screen. System purge complete. Status: unknown entity permanent. Nausea began to set in. No, he whispered. Then he heard it, a faint whisper at first lost in the static from the communicators. Alex, you forgot something. The voice was Mara's, but behind her, faintly, her own voice echoed alongside Mara's. We're still here. The ship's lights flickered again, just enough to reveal something on the windshield, the letters freezing from the inside. Welcome back. The lights went out. To be continued in Part 2, The Signal.